Thank you for agreeing to speak to the FPNN. My name is Innocent Grant. I'm one of the community reporters for the Family Planning News Network. So maybe if you can start by introducing yourself and then we can start our conversation from there.
Thank you so much for inviting me. My name is Nafissatou Jocelyne Diop, and I'm the director of the Sahel Women Empowerment Program and the Demographic Dividend in the UNFPA Western Central Africa Regional Office. So I'm based in Senegal.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Great to finally have a chance to talk to you. So today morning, we met in one of the sessions at the 9th African Population Conference and was on harnessing demographic dividend. And people are talking whether if that's a reality or a myth. But we may need to unpack a bit the term demographic dividend, especially for the new audience who want to understand it. Do you wish to explain a bit what is demographic dividend and maybe link it to the Africa roadmap for demographic dividend a bit? I think that would be helpful.
Okay, so the demographic dividend actually has been, it's a story that we learned from Asia because massive investment has been made in Asia, years, decades ago. And that has really provided, the opportunities for young people to enter into the market, and contribute to the economy most strongly. And the demographic dividend can happen only if we are able to reduce the dependency rate. Dependency rate means that one person in most countries in Africa that is working may have to take, and support economically 4, 5, or sometimes 10 persons. And so this actually is very heavy on that person. The person is not able to make some savings and all, and to invest actually in, some of the area, that could really contribute to economic growth and all. So what we are trying to do is to reduce that dependency ratio. That means that women need to do less children. And, that fertility rate, can only, contribute actually to the demographic dividend if, of course, some policy are being put in place in order to ensure that, they will young people will be educated, young people will be healthy, and will have well-being and have some strong economic empowerment, capacity. So it's a set of intervention that need to happen to create that demographic dividend, right? The dividend that we are expecting can only happen if we are putting together all those different pieces together, and the policy and all the economic opportunities also together. So I would like to say that the African Union realized that in 2017 they adopted a roadmap for harnessing the demographic dividends by investing in young people. So this is clear, the vision is there. All the countries and member states of the African Union have adopted it. Now the big challenge is how they're implementing it, how they're making it a reality and not a myth, right? Mm-hmm. That was the session this morning. And the reality, as I said, is, we have different situations where there are, that first the recognition that this is needed. Second, the investment that is being made, but the investment, is limited because we are basically talking about countries who do not have so much, capacity or possibilities and economic possibilities. But there is still things to do. And those things are actually to be the agency of young people themselves with their participation in the decision making and all, and make sure that, they are, themselves, identifying some of the areas where actually, they can grow, they can invest, and they can fulfill their whole potential. So I think that those are the things that we are trying to do, but it's not easy. And putting young people at the center of our programming with decision makers, with political, with religious leaders, with traditional leaders is sometimes very challenging.
Very true. Very true. Do you think we are doing enough as actors in the field to empower young people in harnessing demographic dividend? And if yes, why? And if no, why?
Okay, so first of all, I will start by saying that there is a recognition that this is where we need to do more effort, right? And most governments and a program like the one that I'm leading, which is funded by the World Bank with massive funding that are going to countries to invest in the empowerment of young people for the demographic dividend, are actually, running, and they are achieving results also. So I can say that in most countries, there is some investment that are being made, because a recognition that Africa will not achieve, the development and the demographic dividend that we want if we are not investing massively into young people, economic empowerment, education, and well-being in general, and health. So beyond that, I think that there is more that we can do. Particularly in the region where I'm working, there is currently a lot of challenges with climate change, but also challenges with political crisis. We have the terrorism attack, and we have a change and the shift of government, with some military government coming on board, or young government coming on board in the case of a country like Senegal. So what that means exactly? That means that we are, facing some new environments, right? And that investment of young people and the program that we have built, to empower young people, probably need to be revisited, because the issue of climate change is sometimes not well articulated. The issue of terrorism, which is, one of the consequences of poverty, let's not, forget that, are, not well, taken into account into our program and all. And we need to recognize that we have some other challenges, like, in West Africa, we are a kind of platform for cocaine, heroin, and the drug, mafia. So all those issues put together, I think that we need to probably to revisit some of our program and make sure that we are going to integrate more issue of mental health into our program. So mental health and economic empowerment, education, etc. for the demographic dividends probably need to be more integrated into our efforts.
Thank you for that. On today's morning session, there was a story that was shared, and you also tapped into that as well. That we do programs, we develop programs to harness demographic dividends within our communities, but maybe there's quite a low self-esteem from young people to uptake those programs and benefit from those programs because of so much mental health challenges that are going on. What's your message to actors in terms of making sure that we integrate mental health, we make sure that young people are well empowered and they have, self-esteem to actually leverage on those opportunities?
I think that the closer intervention and program that UNFPA has been able to put in place is what we call comprehensive sexuality education. In some other countries, this is not culturally accepted as term, but there is equivalent. Yeah, in my country's name, life skill education, and in those kind of education, we are starting usually by a program actually on knowledge of bodily autonomy, the self-esteem issue, and all the, different psychological approach that can really support the agency of a young person. And I think that this is very important. We can probably move, forward and do better in terms of mental health issue, but I think that it's already a start. So most of the comprehensive sexuality education program have, that component of self-esteem, decision-making, agency, and all that is really helping. Before moving into, the issue of, sexuality, sexuality is part also of the picture, because if you are comfortable in your body, you're comfortable with your sexuality, then I think that you have more agency and you have more capacity to go out there and look for what you want to do and look at the opportunity that you have out there. So I will really encourage most of the countries to adopt the comprehensive sexuality education. Whatever the name they want to do it, they can customize it in the local languages and all, but those components that are building, that agency and decision making and self-esteem is really important into, improving mental health of young people.
Nafi, I really salute you when you use the word agency for young people. It's great. I think that's the way to take it forward. My last question would be around the lifetime approach, lifetime investment, lifetime approach that has been spoken. What's that? Looks like it's a way forward in terms of harnessing demographic.
Yeah. So I think that this issue of lifetime approach is also, what we may call in some instances life cycle. It means that empowerment of young people, and support them and all starts, from the not early childhood, actually start even before that, to when the person is, older. So we are talking about, for example, the first demographic dividend. So the first dividend and then the second dividend. So the first dividend is young people, right? And their capacity and their health and the economic capacity and all. Second dividend is when you are above a certain age, like me, and you are now a senior person and aging ish, you need also to be taken into account. For people, sometimes we retire at 60 years old, but we have a lot to share, a lot to give, and a lot of energy today, And so this is a second dividend. So when we're talking about the lifetime and all, we are always talking about, all these different perspective and intervention that need to be capitalized and brought into the Africa we want.
What we want in the future. Nafi, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, I appreciate it.